Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna give it a little while. I'm gonna get started in a few minutes. In a few minutes, I get started. I'll be getting started here momentarily. As you come in, be sure to hit that like, share the video, and make sure you go over to the Captain's Quarters show on Facebook and hit that like and follow. I would appreciate it. I'll be getting started here momentarily. For those who are just coming in, be sure to hit that like, follow on the page, the Captain's Quarters show. Got a lot to discuss. It's gonna be a very good show, very good show. Got some news items that I'm gonna be covering, as well as, of course, the um, the continued saga of Mayor Reed and just the leadership in Montgomery. So we're gonna be a good show. Be sure to share it. Mm, 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 mm. All right, all right. Let's see here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning. I hope y'all are having a good morning so far. All of you that work your 9 to 5, Monday through Friday jobs. We got 4th of July coming up. All right, a couple days from now. So happy early 4th to everybody. If I don't talk to you on the 4th, all right, happy 4th of July. All right, this is my pride shirt right here. Right, my pride flag shirt. All right, America. That's what I represent. Period. Let's see here. David Humphrey. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, my brother, man. I appreciate you being here. Let's see, Montgomery. He said, Montgomery, y'all know about 911. How about all the travel money we are paying for? Average homicides in the 4 years before Reid took office, 38.5 homicides a year. In the first half of 2024, we're at 39. Whew. It's time to take away Mayor Reid's travel budget and let him spend some time at home working on some of these issues. Seriously, 911 was broken for a week. I heard about that. That's crazy. The 911 service was broken for a week. Anyway, and it's still a roll of the dice if they will answer. Absolutely. I've called myself, so I know. Then it's another roll of the dice if MPD will even show up if they actually get there. Yeah. Um, yeah, I've had that same experience. Calling 911, not getting an answer, calling them, they put you on hold. MPD may not come, really depends on the situation. You might have to really be in a little emergency, like you have to be either stabbed, shot, beaten, and then they'll be there pretty quickly. But if it's just a situation where there's somebody that's like loitering or like your business got burglarized or something like that, they might not be there for an hour or two, and depending, they might not even show up at all. Like stolen cars, stuff like that. It's just this a bad situation. Um, so so man, I hope everybody is having a good start. I'm gonna be covering several topics. As usual, David said the problem is employees. Why and should the sheriff's office 911 take over? I I think that would be probably the best choice, the most efficient choice. You know, some kind of I don't know, that's for the big brain people in our government, right? In our leadership to come to some type of agreement, some type of solution to fix that issue. Whether they have some type of thing where certain times of the day it goes to the city and then certain part of the day it goes to the county. I mean, some kind of way to figure that out. Um, I think that's something that needs to be looked at, right? Because this has been an ongoing issue with the 911 for really years. That's been an ongoing thing, and a big part of that is we've had not only everybody knows about MPD being short staffed. Like that's been we've all known about that. But another part is the 911 operators. They're short staffed. So dispatch is I saw some numbers where they were like half staff. So who's answering the phone? Who's going to answer the phone and who's going to relay the message to MPD that hey, you have an emergency or you need assistance. It may not be an emergency per se, but even the non-emergency number, they don't answer the phone. I've called them and they don't answer the phone. I remember years ago when I worked retail and I would call MPD all the time for, theft and robberies and all kind of stuff. and you could call the non-emergency number, which is most time what I did, and they would answer the phone every time. This was 2015, 16, 17, 18 in that time frame. But really since 2020, it's gone downhill to where you call non-emergency, they're probably not going to answer the phone. They used to even call you back. They would call you back if they miss your phone call. They would call you right back. I know this because I dealt with this many times. It's insane, and now they don't answer. They don't call you back. So it's just it's a we're told that we need to support our leadership and support our city, and just keep pushing along and just ignore all of these issues that we're having. Like we depend on our local government to have things like 911 working efficiently and effectively. That's what we put people in position to do, right? That's not our job to do that. That's their job to do that. We hold them accountable for that. And that's a basic of the basic. That's government 101 is safety, right? Service and safety. That's what they're here to do. And if we can't get through to them, I mean, what are we talking about when they're um trying to make it seem like crime isn't that bad and this and that? Well, the numbers may look a little lower because guess what? When people are calling 911 or they're calling the non-emergency number and the police aren't even showing up, they're not doing the report. So now no crime has occurred, right? No crime occurred because there's not a report of it. You called, you called to place the report, but no report was done. So it's like that shooting didn't happen. It's like that stabbing didn't happen. It's like that fight didn't happen. It's like that burglary didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? So that's gonna affect the numbers. It's gonna make the numbers look lower than what they really are. Best believe the numbers of like stolen cars and break-ins, uh, robbery. Like it's a lot of these crimes that we don't have accurate numbers at all. So whatever number you're seeing is going to be a much bigger number of actual events of that happening. Yeah, best believe that. David said ABC store was broken into a few weeks ago and took 3 hours for MPD to get there. See what I mean? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking. And then some situations they may not even show up. It's just they're working tirelessly, right? They're being stretched thin. They cannot keep up with the volume of crime. Every time they would and get things done, that's not emergency. Yeah. Yep. Non emergency used to be on point. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, which this leads me to something I'm gonna go ahead and cover because this just happened, right? This just happened. So let me bring in this story. We have, man, so much going on in Montgomery. This is sad. So everybody knows about the news called it a triple homicide. Uh, but three individuals died. What was that? A month ago or so, at this Hispanic store on Troy Highway. It's called Tienda Los Hermanos. Okay, and it's right there. If I'm not mistaken, it's in that little shopping center right there by Dollar General, near Cherry Hill Road, which is the entrance to Regency Park neighborhood. So it's right in that little area, and they had a triple homicide. Well, by the way, there are no suspects. No one's been arrested. At least I don't know if they have any suspects or not. Sometimes they keep it a little quiet if they do, but nobody's been arrested. All right, keep that. Keep that in mind. All right. Nobody's been arrested in for the triple homicide at this store. And also Gloria Cruz, the grandmother that got killed in her own yard. I looked it up. I didn't see anybody got arrested in that crime as well. Right. That's just two that I know off the top of my head. So but back to this Hispanic store. So they got burglarized twice in one day. And this was on Sunday, this weekend that just passed. It says a boarded up door is now the entrance to Tienda Los Hermanos. The Hispanic grocery store was hit again by criminals. An employee anonymously said the store was burglarized not once, but twice early Sunday. It said the first one was about 1:30 or so. The alarm didn't sound. Don't know. They didn't know why. Um, and then in that first incident, that was just one burglar, apparently. And then the second burglary, there were two individuals. Let's see here. And it says so the two that came later, they got in through broken glass, right? And the alarm did sound, and they called police, and they showed up maybe 30 minutes later. And that's according to this anonymous employee. The burglaries took place less than a month after the triple murder at the store on June the 4th. The employee said one of the items stolen was money from the donation box in support of the Lopez family after Daniel and Ramiro Lopez were killed. So those were the employees that worked there. They were raising money to benefit the family and, you know, deal with the loss. And the money that they were raising was stolen. How low do you have to be? How low of a human being must you be to break into a store? And everybody knows about this that happened. Like, if you're in Montgomery, everybody knows about this. But you're gonna break into a store and steal the donation box money. And it's whatever store you break into. You know, a lot of stores and restaurants and places have some type of fundraising fund for, you know, whatever, some baseball team, maybe somebody that lost a loved one, somebody's dealing with, some type of disease like cancer, breast cancer, something like that. And how low do you have to be to break into a place of business and steal donation money? Just, I mean, so this employee says you are raising money for one case and somebody else comes and takes it. It's sad taking advantage for something like that. Yeah, so definitely taking advantage. Let's see here. There's also this guy named Fabian Macias. He works for a local Hispanic radio station, 95.5 La Voz. Y'all, excuse me, man. My Spanish is not up to par. Um, Helping provide crucial information to the Hispanic community while also hearing their cries for action. He basically, it says that he's been here his whole life, and the crime against the Hispanic community has never been higher than it is right now. That's according to what he said, right? Yeah, and of course it will be, right, because it's high across the board in the city. So this is the worst crime I've seen in my lifetime, and I've been in Montgomery my whole life. I've never seen it this bad. So, of course, you know, the Hispanic community, Asian community, anybody else, any other community in Montgomery, everybody's feeling the crime wave in Montgomery. Okay, everybody's feeling it. Let's see. At this time, there's no word on suspects in the burglary or the triple homicide. And probably what happened was, I wouldn't be surprised if the burglar the first time around on Sunday broke in, did his thing, and then went and got a friend, came back. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one guy that came back twice, and second time he just brought somebody with him to maybe get more loot. Da, da, da. Okay, yeah, that's basically that. That's basically that. Stealing donation money. But see, that's why I say you can't you can't treat everybody as if they want something better in life. Like when it comes to certain criminals, you gotta lock them up and throw away the key. And there's other people you got to give them 25, 30 years. And people think that some of these punishments are too harsh. But you got people like this that will further victimize a place of business that's already hurting, all right? Lost two individuals from that location, and then a customer that came in to patronize the business. And this person comes in and steals the donation money. Like, there are some people that just wake up in the morning and they are just hell bent on causing destruction, stealing, taking. That's what their mindset is. Their mindset is they're willing to do any and everything in order to get what they want. Forget what you did to get what you have, right? To the work that you put in, taking care of your family. Forget all that. They don't care. They want what they want. Right? They will kill a child, grandmama. They'll take from anybody. That's just what they do. And so you have to, at a certain point, you got to get harsh on your punishment for these criminals. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, you have what we have going on in Montgomery. You have this. We have this going on because on on one hand, you got the judges, and they're not they're some of them are really soft, and they want to be downy soft and let people out. People have child sex crimes and they go to jail for a year or two, and then they have like 5 years probation. Ridiculous. People kill people, do 3 4 years, come right back out. They shoot somebody, attempted murder or whatever the case is, get charged with that, go to court. The judge says they get a bond of whatever, some low bond. They bond out, and then while they're on bond, they go rob and shoot and kill people. Right. So on one hand, that's going on. All right, fair enough. But before you even get to that point, before these criminals see the judge, they have to deal with the local government, as far as the city police. And when you have a mayor who's extremely soft on crime, he came in talking about he's gonna be tough on crime, but when he's really in reality, he's soft on crime. When you got that type of person and he wants to defund police, he's all about, you know, the color barriers and the marginalized communities, and so he ends up being all soft and wants to forgive people's tickets and forgive whatever other crimes that people have done. When you got that type of mentality in the mayor's seat, the criminals pay attention and they say, okay, we're noticing that there's less police. They're not going to certain calls. Used to, this criminal could go break into a store and he knew he had about 5 minutes or so. He need to get up out of there. Now, then they can go break into a store and be there for about how long they want to, right? Because who's gonna come? What police are coming? So the criminals feel more emboldened under weak leadership. They are more emboldened to commit crimes, right? That's what it creates. It creates an environment of like what we're seeing in Montgomery. That's why local government is the most important. Before you get to the judge, before you deal with, changing whatever state laws people want to change. If your local government is not doing what it's supposed to do, the rest of that stuff is not going to do anything. It won't do a thing. That's that's where that's where we need to slow it down a little bit, kind of think outside the box, go to the outside, be on the outside looking in to the situation and not being a prisoner of the moment to where, everybody wants to kind of point the finger somewhere. And too many people are pointing the finger in places that, okay, yeah, that's a place that is important to point your finger. But right now, that's not helping to point the finger at the state and whatever, because the local is out of control. The local is out of control. Until that gets under control, we worrying about the state laws and other things. It's not going to really change anything. Now, I'll say this, and I've been saying it. If the state got into making laws and creating the opportunities for families to come together, right? For men, if they kind of incentivize men to stay in the home, get married to their wives, and raise their kids, that would alone cut down. We would flip all of this crime and stuff that we see happening. It would flip because there's no other tried and true method or situation that has been proven to make sure that children are raised with better behavior and not being criminals, being educated, being productive citizens. There's no other tried and true method other than a man and a woman raising their children. That's why if you look back at the stats of from the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and early 60s, you saw lots of way more married households then, and as a result, you had more educated kids, you had less crime. All of that stuff it's all connected. When you take the man out of the situation and you just incentivize the woman to be on her own, raising however many kids, issues happen. It's just it's really common sense, but it's like people don't want to really be honest about it, and they want to make it seem like the man is optional. You know what I'm saying? It's like society has pushed it to where the woman is priority, she's primary, and then the man is secondary and optional. And here we are. Here we are, right? With all our issues. So see, David said this country needs men and real men and have masculinity back in this country. We need leaders with morals and education. Education should be the first way to fix this country. Yeah, it will. Yeah, exactly, exactly. The moral issue is ties right back into men and women raising their kids, right? That's part of the moral. Like God's morals supersedes us, right? So we're supposed to be living to God's standard. God is not supposed to come down to our standard, right? Because we're just humans and we corrupt everything, right? We ruin everything, right? We all know about Adam and Eve. They ruined. They got us to this point that we're at right now. So humans are, you know, completely imperfect and corruptible. So, but that's why God is there. He wants us to raise to His holiness, and part of that is raising your kids together as a man and a woman in marriage. That's fundamental. Look around the world, any nation, any place, those places that have strong families, they have great economies, education, lower crime, all of that. Look at places where it's single mothers or kids on their own and stuff. It's chaos, complete chaos. We got to get back to just the basics, man. God, family, country, just the basics. If we did that, man, we would change so much. We would change so much for the better. Now, let's talk about. So, went through and talked about the this Hispanic store that got hit with the triple homicide. I call it mass shooting because there's three people, but they call it triple homicide. We all know about that. It happened on June 4th. And then that same store just got burglarized twice in one day on this past Sunday. And the person or people that burglarized it took the donation money that they were raising to support the family of the lost in that situation. Um, so now I wanna bring in this other story that is just ironic. The irony of this is wow. You're gonna be like what? Say hold on. Say what? Let me see here. All right. Let me bring this in. All right. Now on our screen right here. Hold on, let me move my so make sure we can see. Go. Yep. There we go. So this was put up by the city of Montgomery. All right, this is the city of Montgomery Facebook page. They put this up to promote this walk right here. Right, this was Stop the Violence Walk. I swear, look, before I even get to this right here, I am so tired. I've been tired of seeing Stop the Violence walks. They don't work. Simply put, they do not work. All it is a way for people to come together. Sometimes they'll do like an award thing where they give certain leaders in the community you know certain awards and certain certificates of this and that, and it's kind of like a pat on your back type of thing, and it's just something that looks good, right? The government is great at doing things that are not effective in helping the community, but they do certain things that makes it look like they're doing things to, be effective in the community. It looks like, hey, we got a solution to this problem, right? Optics are everything. Let me say that again. The government has a master class in making things look good to the community. So it looks like they care about the community. It looks like they have solutions. It looks like they want to present you with solutions. It looks like they have effective means of dealing with said issues. The government is great at this, right? Because people love to be, you know, people love to feel like somebody cares about whatever it is, right? They want to they feel better when it's communicated that we're doing our best to fix whatever this issue is, and the government's great at that. So here they are with the Stop the Violence walk. This was Saturday, June 29th. So this was this past Saturday. All right, they had this at 10 a.m. Hyde Park. Now Hyde Park is a park that's right there on the other side of Wayers Ferry Road. So it's like I want to say you go down Burbank Drive, and I think it's South Burbank or no, North. I think it's North Burbank. If you go that way into that neighborhood, Hyde Park is back there. All right, it's back there in that neighborhood. Um, so they had this walk, stop the violence walk, right? Stop the violence. Well, let's see how that turned out. Let's see here. What is this? Two injured in Sunday Montgomery shooting. Two injured. Now, I wonder where was this? Oh, Hyde Park. Two injured in Hyde Park Drive shooting. So literally, there's the park, right? Y'all see the park. This was the day after the walk, the Stop the Violence walk. A Sunday afternoon shooting in Montgomery has left two men injured. It happened in the 5800 block of Hyde Park Drive around 4:30 p.m. on a report of a person shot. A police spokesman says a man was found with 9 life-threatening injuries from a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital for treatment. And around the same time, MPD responded to a local hospital about a person shot. Officers located another man with 9 life-threatening injuries from being shot. Police say it was determined that he was injured in the same shooting at the same location on Hyde Park Drive. And there's the little map, right? And in this map, you can see Hyde Park and Hyde Park, and then the shooting was right here. So we're talking, the same road. The road literally goes right next to the park. You cannot make this up. Can't make it up. Man, cannot make it up, y'all. A shooting in the same park, or right next to the same park that they had the Stop the Violence walk. Stop the Violence walks don't work. They do not work. They haven't worked. They've been doing those things for ever since I was a kid. I remember them doing these Stop the Violence walks, and they didn't help then, and they don't help now. It's just something that they do to where they feel like, they're doing something, right? They're doing something positive for the community. That's what it comes across as. Now I have one more. I got this video that I'm gonna bring in. Now this is our mayor, Stephen Reed. Y'all know him, y'all love him. But I thought this was, it's typical to what he would do. Pretty much typical to what he would do. But on this right here, he is gonna, pretty much like shout out the Biden Harris administration, right? 'Cause they've been doing such a great job running America into the ground, right? So he's gonna big up the Biden Harris administration because apparently, some money, came to the area through the administration, and as if that, that's gonna make a huge difference. I think it's like $3.6 million or something. I guess he's gonna, put that toward his security detail. I'm not sure. But let me play this video and see what he's talking about in this video.
Hey everybody, just want to say we got another great award to announce from the Biden-Harris administration. We just received almost $4 million to the Pathways to Removing Obstacles program from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. What that means in short is this helps us remove obstacles to affordable housing opportunities in West Montgomery. As part of our focus on reimagining West Montgomery, you know we received a $36.6 million a few months ago. Now we've got another almost $4 million on top of that from the Biden-Harris administration, which takes us over $40 million just from this administration alone to help us invest in affordable housing options and more affordable housing accessibility. This will not only come with housing.
Man, come on, man. How many times he gonna say the Biden-Harris administration, the Biden-Harris administration? Like, so when, I've been saying it, other people have been saying it, we've been telling y'all, this man he's just an extension of the Democratic Party, nationwide Democratic Party. So when his buddies in DC tell him to jump, he gonna say, "Massa, how you need me to jump?" And then he does this stuff right here, right? Because if you saw the Trump Biden debate, if you watch that debate, I mean, for 5-10 minutes, there's no, people, now we can definitely talk about this a little bit later. I'm definitely gonna talk about it, but just listening to the way that they spoke, there's a huge difference between the cognitive ability of a Trump versus the cognitive ability of Joe Biden. The man was weak. He was frail looking. He sounded frail. There was no power. There was no strength anywhere in his vicinity. The man is just in terrible shape. And here Mayor Reed is telling y'all, right? He already said before that he don't give a what about the black vote and all this type of stuff. But here he is telling y'all to vote for Biden again. Like that's all this is. This is just a campaign strategy for the Democratic Party and for Joe Biden. That's all this is. That's all he's doing right here. He's just promoting and advertising. Right? It's propaganda. That's what this is.
But also allowing us to look at infield development while providing job training and employment opportunities for those in this area. So we're extremely grateful for another award from the federal government, from the Biden-Harris administration and the Housing and Urban Development Department. And we just want to thank everyone within the city, from our grants department to community development, for all the great work they've done. And just
man, when Trump was in office, do y'all recall him being Mayor Stephen Reed? Do y'all remember him shouting out the Trump administration for all the the urban development and things that they did for the area? Do y'all remember? I don't recall him doing this same type of video shouting out Trump for in his administration for the funding that came to the Montgomery area. I don't recall that happening, right? But when it comes to the Democratic Party, he's got to be front line. He's got to be in front of the line. Yes, master. What y'all need me to say? How y'all need me to say it? Y'all need me to say Biden-Harris administration how many times? I'll make sure I hit it in the first 5 seconds. I'm gonna say it, and then by the first 15 seconds, I'm gonna say it about another 2-3 times. And by the end of the video, minute and a half video, I'm gonna have said it about about 6-7 times. Make sure I hit it home that y'all running things in the right way. And we all know that that's a god dog lie. Like we know that's a lie, right? They run this country into the ground. But this is our mayor. This is our mayor. Our mayor is more concerned with what's going on outside of Montgomery and outside the state of Alabama. This is why he's on the road all the time. He's getting on them planes, flying around the country. He stays in DC, went to New York City. I want to say that was in was it April or May? Maybe in May. He went to New York City for this conference where they were doing a smart city conference, which is, if you don't know what a smart city is, it's an initiative, and Montgomery is a part of that. By the way, there's documentation. You can look it up. Smart cities are where they're trying to create um like this 15-minute city where you can use public transit. They want to take away your cars. They want people to drive less cars. That's what it is. So it's an initiative where they're trying to cut down on the, be more, what they call it, carbon friendly or whatever, green friendly. They want to control you. That's basically what it is. So they want you to drive less. They want you to own less vehicles. They want you to be able to, walk everywhere, take the public transit, which is the city's gonna, be giving you that option. All right, they're gonna provide that for you. They want to control you with how much air conditioning you run in the summertime, how much heat you run in the winter, right? Which is why, I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but Alabama Power put out this information talking about during these hot days, run your AC on like 82 degrees or something crazy. What? How about, since I'm paying the bill, whoever you are in your household, you're paying your bill. How about you run the air on whatever you want to run it on, because it's your house and you're paying the bill. But they're gonna tell you best case is, best case scenario, run your air conditioner on like 82 degrees because it's so hot. And then in the wintertime, when it's like 20 degrees outside, they're gonna tell you run your heat, on a lower temperature to keep your house cold. Like but that's all part of that. See, Alabama Power and these power companies and these gas companies and all this stuff is connected to what the government is trying to do, which is control us more, right? That's all it's about. So when they talk about these different initiatives and programs that they're trying to put in place to help us, it's really just them getting more control. That's really all it is, right? But you got to be able to just see what's going on and do a little research, right? But anyway, look up smart cities in America. Montgomery's on the list. So Mayor Reed went to NYC and spoke on behalf of the African American Mayors Association at that conference, and he was there for like 4 days or something. You know, he's doing stuff like that because that's more important than, dealing with what's happening right here, in the city, right? We got all these issues happening, and rather than being here dealing with that and making sure that we can see him, hear what he has to say, he's in our neighborhoods, that type of thing. Other than, rather than doing that, he'd rather be in NYC or DC or Atlanta, getting an award in Atlanta for, what was it, best mayor of the year or something like that. He got in Atlanta. It's better to do those things, right? And then he just does these little videos. He'll pop in Montgomery, do this little video ad promotion for the Biden Harris administration, and he pop right back out. He's gonna be on the road again, right? Or be back in the air on the airplane, right? That's basically what's been going on for the last 4 years, 5 years. That's basically what's been happening, and it's it's time up for it. It's really time up for it. Uh, had all those people walk and then had a shooting. Yeah, on Sunday. Yep, that's right, man. That's that prayer walk, or that stop the violence walk that happened. It's PR and a meet and greet. Yeah, that's it. It's just it's something that looks good. It's something that looks good. The government does a great job of making certain things look good, but not really be something that you need. Let's see. Mm, mm, mm. If you're coming in, or if you're watching, hit that like. I would appreciate it. Go over to the Captain's Quarter Show Facebook page. Hit that like and follow over there. That's still growing. It's grown a lot in the last, about 2 weeks or so. So shout out to everybody that's watching, tuning in. I do appreciate it. Share the videos as well. Let's see. Get that off of there. Let me see. Let me do this right here. Because I'm going to definitely talk about the the debate that happened. Talk about that, and then I'm gonna talk about who's gonna be who should we look at for the next mayor, or what qualities should we be looking for in our next mayor of Montgomery. But before that, let's see. Before that, I do want to give a shout out to a few people and organizations, and this is not anything where they didn't even ask me to do this, or they didn't pay me for, and nothing like that. But I just want to highlight these organizations and people, because from everything I can see, they've been doing a really good job in the community here in Montgomery. Get it pulled up. I'm gonna go run through them one, two, three. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, do that. Pull this one up. Trying to bring in. these organizations and people that want to highlight real quick. Just looking at everybody else so I can have it ready to go through one, two, three. All right. So these are not, excuse me, these are not any paid endorsements or nothing like that. These individuals don't even know that I was even gonna do this, whatever the case. But I think it's really important to highlight positive things that's happening in the community. Like people that are putting in work to better our city. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in if y'all are not familiar with Change Nonprofit, right? Change Nonprofit. It's located on Oak Street in Montgomery, which is right over there across from Carver High School. Um, Change Nonprofit is run by Ashley Robinson. And also they have another nonprofit that's within that same building, Young Men on a Mission, and that's run by Nick Rankins. So shout out to them. They have this back to school event that's happening July 27th, 2024. All right, back to school bash and family fun day from 10 to 2, right? 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the multiplex at 220 Hall Street. So, if you got little ones going back to school, y'all can head over there, get some great school supplies, and I'm sure they'll have games and food and all that type of stuff too. So, shout out to Change Nonprofit. All right, doing great work. I've been over there, toured the facility. Is excellent. All right, they have a lot going on. Lot going on. They got a barber shop. They got a computer lounge. They have I don't even know what else they have. They got a lot going on, right? And they're steady adding to it. Let's see. Also, let's see here. Let's see. So also, we got Jamel Brown. Now, Jamel Brown has the Jamel J. Brown Foundation. All right. And he's located over there on Oak Street as well. So he's down Oak Street across from Carver High School. Um, and he's been doing great work. I mean, this guy right here's been in the community he's been doing things for, I mean, I think he said 20 years, 20 plus years. But, you know, he's been very active, right? Running for city council, running for this and that. So, I want to highlight him because he's doing some great work in the community as well. So y'all reach out to him. The Jamel J. Brown Foundation, located on Oak Street in Montgomery, Alabama. He's got a page and everything. His page is Jamel Jermaine Brown. So look him up on Facebook, Jamel Jermaine Brown. He'll pop right up, or put in Jamel Brown, and he should come straight up. So shout out to him. And let's see, last but not least, last but not least, one more I want to highlight. And these are individuals that I just think that are doing some good work in the community, trying to better our city. All right, and that's my child. All right, that's we all know Charles Lee. Most people are aware. All right, that's my child. They've been around for quite some time, doing great work. Reach out to him. I think he's located. So they're at 2414 Lower Wetumpka Road, right? So that's the north side. So reach out to That's My Child, and a lot of people know about them. They're one of the, I would say one of the more well known nonprofits, especially for the youth, in the city of Montgomery. So shout out to those people. I hope they continue to do the great work that they've been doing, and as I can help along the way, I'll try to do my best to do that, right? To lend a helping hand where I can. All right. To them and just beyond, and also shout out to all the churches in the city that are active in the community, right? Uh North Montgomery Baptist Church, Pastor Willie Knight over there. Shout out to him. That's my guy. Um Fraser Church, they do a lot in the community. They got Transformation Montgomery, that they operate. Many other organizations that they work with as well. And there's a lot of churches that are putting in work and that are, boots on the ground, trying to do their part, right, to spread the gospel, to better the city of Montgomery, create a better environment. So shout out to all of them. Now let me go into. I want to cover this debate real quick. All right. So I'm gonna talk about the debate, then I'm gonna talk about the mayor situation moving forward in this city. So the debate, I know a lot of people are not really into talking about the debate or talking about who's gonna be president. It's become a very divisive subject. It's been a subject where people they dread, you know, uh dealing with it, because so many people have been misinformed and disinformed and manipulated to view things a certain way, right? That it may not be. So when it comes to the Trump side, the media, see, people have to understand the media. So I'm talking about the media, that's CNN, MSNBC, CBS, NBC, pretty much if you turn your TV on, right, to just about any channel, probably 98% of channels on TV, they're all left-leaning propaganda machines, right? It could be MTV, BET, just about anything. ESPN, like I can go on and on. Just about any place you look on TV, any station, they're left-leaning. So, which means they're part of they're just another arm of the Democratic Party, to where if you ever notice when you watch these certain networks like CNN and MSNBC and CBS and NBC, they tend to talk about Trump in the negative way. They've been doing it for the last 8, 9 years, nonstop. I've never seen somebody be talked about in the news for 8, 9 years straight. Like this is ridiculous. But anyway, they want to paint him in a way to where the masses look at him as a bigot, as a racist, as a person who's just overall doesn't care for people. That's the whole thing, right? And so they've gone at him saying that he's guilty of this crime, guilty of that crime. And he had this video where he said he can grab a woman by, what, and all this type of stuff. Like, they do that as if Biden is squeaky clean. Like he's never said anything wrong, done anything wrong, never thought about doing anything wrong, right? That's they manipulate people to so you, when you hear Trump, you think negative. When you hear Biden, all they tell you is, he's a great man. He's done a lot for, to help this country be a success. And he had this son that died in Iraq and all this stuff, which he didn't. But they push all this type of stuff to build him up. And so because the media has gone fully into this political realm, people just are tired of even talking about it. They're fed up with it, right? And I get that. I understand that to a certain extent. I understand. I get it. I understand it. But let's look at it objectively. So when I watched which I did, I watched the whole debate. When I watched it and listened to it, the first thing that I noticed was that Donald Trump came across as somebody who's focused, who's in the present. You know, he's there, he's attentive, and a question gets asked, he answers the question appropriately that he sees fit as far as explaining, answering the question and explaining it. He's on point, right? He sounds strong. He's standing there. He doesn't look decrepit and weak and just like if you blow on him, he's gonna fall over. None of that, right? But on the flip side, when Biden is speaking, he's asked the question. He's bumbling, fumbling, talking about whatever the issue is, and then forgets where he's at, what he's talking about, and just keeps rambling. He sounds weak. He sounds pathetic. I mean, it's like somebody's got like he's a ventriloquist doll, and somebody got their hand and they're trying to. He's a character. He looks like that character. What's that guy's name? The guy that used to be on Comedy Central, and he used to have this old man doll that he used to be a ventriloquist doll, and he would act. He would be like real. Man, what's that dude's name? It ain't gonna come to me, but y'all know who I'm talking about. But he had a doll that looks like Joe Biden. The doll was always anal and just mad and mean and nasty, and it's like kind of like Biden, except Biden is not even focused enough to be like that. He's just an empty suit up there. So when I watched it, this is what I saw. I'm like, yo, right off, I'm seeing the difference in just presence. Presence is different between the two. So then, as I listen, President Trump he would rebut certain things that Biden would say, and he wasn't lying. Like, he got to talk about the border, how the economy was in a great place, which it was. Everybody knows, looking back, 2018ish, basically 2018, if I'm not mistaken, that was the year that the taxes got cut, right? And people love to say the tax only affected the rich and the wealthy and stuff. No, it didn't. I was working a job in 2018 when he did the tax cuts. My check went up, like, because I was paying less taxes. My bracket changed to where I wasn't paying as much in my taxes, so I got extra money that year. I remember that. Okay, so anyway, so the economy was rocking and rolling. We all know this, man. Gas was at one point was under $2 under Trump. It was under $2. Okay, let's wrap our minds around that. I know you go to the gas station now, it's $2 whatever, $3 whatever. Sometimes it's maybe $4. It was under $2 under Trump. The economy was good, man. People had jobs. Some of the lowest unemployment rates in the history of America was under President Trump. The border situation, as far as the illegal aliens coming into the country, was at some of the lowest numbers it's ever been under Trump. All right, this is just facts. I'm just saying, objectively looking at this. All right, I'm not over here trying to play. I'm just gonna tell you what y'all, what I want y'all to know about, or whatever. Because I'm gonna get to the negatives on Trump. I'm gonna get to the negative on Trump as well. Sit tight. I'm gonna get there too because I was very vocal during a certain time. So anyway, the economy was so much better. We weren't at a war. We had no new wars under Trump. Russia literally invaded Crimea, which is a part of Ukraine, back in 2014. Guess who was president then? Barack Obama, Democrat, right? He let that happen. He let Russia take over part of Ukraine back then. Okay, Trump got in office. Did Russia do anything to Ukraine? No, they did not. Did Iran do anything to America or Israel? No, they did not. Did was there an all-out war like it's going on right now with Hamas and Palestine versus Israel? No, didn't happen. You see what this is objective. I'm just being objective. I'm just calling what happened. This is just facts. This cannot be disputed. Everything was just better. So then you get to 2020. 2020 happened, and early in that year, it happened in different parts of the country at different times. But for us here in Montgomery, Alabama, March, like the middle to the end part of March, is when the pandemic hit us. All right. I was working at my retail store. I was managing the store. And I remember we just got our truck in, we're unloading the truck, stocking the shelves, and we're literally, all of a sudden, there was nobody in the store really. All of a sudden, a wave of people came, and this is no lie, I wish I had video evidence of this. It was a wave of people that came from nowhere. Hey, we just got our first case of COVID in Montgomery County. It was like 1-2 people that just went to the hospital, and now it's here. Man, as we were bringing our carts onto the floor to unload them and stock the shelves, people were getting the toilet tissue off the cart. We weren't even able to put it on the shelf in time because there were so many people coming in and getting tissue that we were just taking out the box, handing to people. No lie, Lysol, same thing. It was insane. So anyway, that hit in March for us, and moving forward by June, I want to say by June, the city of Montgomery. So this is where things started to go crazy. I was saying in March, when they were saying the whole, let's shut things down for 2 weeks. I remember that. That's what they started off with. Let's shut it down for 2 weeks. Well, let's get through this first wave, and we got to get, let's give it a little time to kind of die down a little bit, right? No other time in my lifetime have I ever seen a virus hit America, and we are playing dodgeball. Like, we're gonna stay in our house for 2 weeks, and that's gonna fix. We've never done this before. Like, okay, I know I'm not an old 70, 80-year-old person that's been around forever and seen a whole lot and experienced a whole lot, but I got a brain, I got enough knowledge to know what they were saying. That was fishy, very fishy, right? You want us to stay home. You want to close businesses. At first y'all didn't want us to mask because y'all were saying wearing a mask wasn't effective, right? Which makes sense because it's not really effective. It's just proven. It had been proven already before 2020. Wearing masks during virus time is not helping. It doesn't help. But so they want to shut down businesses and all this stuff. So locally here in Montgomery, let's talk about that first. Montgomery was one of those first cities in Alabama that pushed the mask mandate, right? That was around I want to say June of 2020. Something like that, like May, June, somewhere in there. They pushed the mask mandate. Now, why would Mayor Reed push the mask mandate? Well, he's a Democrat. The Democrat Party was pushing that in other states that were run by Democrats, like New York, California, Oregon, Washington State, Washington, D.C. You got these other places that are run by Democrats, they all followed the same playbook. And so he pushed that. We had the mask mandate going on. Did that help? No, it didn't. Because then it got to the point where then the health department and everything, they got to the point where they said, look, if we come into your place of business and you sell food, it's a restaurant or retail type store, and your employees are not wearing their mask correctly, you're gonna be cited for it. And then if we come back in 24 hours or whatever time frame, and y'all still are not masking up correctly, which was, mask over the nose and mouth, we're gonna shut you down for 10 days. That's just a fact. I saw it for myself when I was running a store. We had an employee that didn't have the mask over her nose and mouth. It was just over her mouth. The health inspector came in, said, I'm gonna come back in a couple of days because that person's out of order, right? They're out of policy or whatever the case was. I don't know it wasn't no law at the time, but apparently the health department had all complete control over what we did outside of our homes. So anyway, so he comes back and he was like, all right, you good to go? He's like, if I came, I said, well, what's gonna happen if y'all, if one of us wasn't wearing a mask correctly? Y'all, we would shut you down for 10 days. So you mean to tell me y'all would do that over a mask, but restaurants have mold growing and they're not cooking food right and stuff. You telling me that they can get a 70 or 60 something and y'all let them open up, but you gonna shut down a store because somebody didn't have a mask on correctly? Yeah. So God forbid, we were honest about these things and questioning these things, right? The government, from the local level to the state level, because Governor Ivey was part of this whole thing too, to the state level and to the feds, there was a complete overreaction to the whole COVID situation, right? I call it a plandemic, not a pandemic, because it was too orchestrated and things moved so fast from city to city, to state, so fast in the way that they reacted to it by closing schools down. Everybody seemed to wanting to do it, shutting down businesses, closing up small, mom and pop stores, putting people in the streets, ending their livelihoods. They ended people's livelihoods, right? So I'm sitting back watching this type of stuff, and guess who was at the top that was pushing certain things that were just detrimental? Donald Trump. Donald Trump pushed the vaccine, right? I remember he mentioned the vaccine. We're gonna come out with this vaccine. It's gonna be record time. What they call it, Operation Warp Speed, right? Because they wanted to have that vaccine out within a year of like when the virus hit America, apparently. So every vaccine that they'd ever created before 2020 had gone through years of production and trials and all that type of stuff to make sure that it's as safe as possible, right? Chickenpox, the chickenpox vaccine, polio vaccine, etc. All these other vaccines, right? All of them went through strenuous testing. But when it came to the COVID vaccine, we were the trial, right? Well, some of y'all were the trial. I didn't take it, right? But they wanted us to be the guinea pigs to see, we're going to get this thing done, give it out to people, and, we'll see, down the line, we'll see what happens with them. And so y'all was the guinea pigs, all right? Trump pushed that. That was Trump, and I said it then, I don't care, because people love to say that people who support Trump are loyalists. They're just sheep. They just, whatever he says, that he's like their Jesus Christ or whatever. They love saying that. And I was saying, I don't care who he is. Oh, he ain't my Christ. He ain't my God. He ain't none of that stuff. he's a man that I like in the position that he's in. But when it comes to him pushing this vaccine, I'm against that. I'm not taking the vaccine, period. Not going to happen. Right? It wasn't going to happen. I don't care what he said. Right? Because I know for me, it doesn't make sense to do. Right? Why would I create more potential problems for my body and for myself by taking a vaccine that I have no idea how it's going to affect me? Why would I do that rather than just face maybe getting sick from a cold that has a 99.8 something percent survival rate? Like, it wasn't smart. It wasn't a good decision, right? So I was against it. He pushed the whole vaccine thing. There were, when it came to other parts of that, like the shutdowns and everything. To me, he acquiesced to the states that wanted to shut down and close businesses. He was like, yo, I mean, kind of do what you want to do. We need to get a hold on this. He put Anthony Fauci in place. This man, the Keebler elf guy, this guy is just a snake, just slimy. I mean, when you look at the guy and hear him talk, I personally was like, he just gives me like a evil goblin. Like he looked like an evil goblin. He sounded like one. He was a liar. He went from saying masking wasn't necessary because it doesn't help. He went from that to wear 2 masks. And people were like, well, just, I don't know. I don't know how some of y'all did it, but I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. All right. I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. The stuff that they were saying, I was like, no. I don't care who's in office. I don't care if I do support them or not. I'm not doing certain things. And I can see that these shutdowns and shutting schools down and going virtual, all of that is going to hurt us in the long run. I was saying this stuff and people was calling me conspiracy theorist. I wasn't educated enough to be talking about it. I wasn't a doctor. I wasn't a teacher. I wasn't this and that. People love to throw that type of stuff around when you start, questioning things. They love to say, well, what's your expertise in that field? Right? But then fast forward, here we are 2024, and the stuff that me and so many others were saying, it was true. Because those same leftist propaganda machines that were telling all of y'all to be afraid and get vaccinated and all that type of stuff, they have since come out and said, yep, shutting down businesses wasn't a good idea. It actually hurt us. Closing schools and going virtual has hurt our children. They're way further behind than they ever were beforehand. And so on and so on. Right? So Trump played his part in that. He played his part in that. And I was vocal then, and I say it now. But here's the thing. When it comes to him, there's a couple of things, like maybe 2-3 things that I don't like about Trump. I didn't like the vaccine thing, and he still has pushed that to today. I didn't like that, right? I don't like the fact that he's been very flip-floppish on the abortion agenda and the abortion topic. He's kind of gone from being against abortion, well, he was for abortion before he ran for president the first go around. Then he was, president, he was more pro-life. Then he kind of went to, 26 weeks or whatever the general, consensus is about having abortions. He's kind of agreed with that. He's just kind of been all over the place when it comes to that, right? I'm pro-life. We're not doing no 26 weeks, 28 weeks, none of that stuff. Cause that's not a tried and true thing. there's plenty of mothers who give birth to babies that survive and live great lives well before 26 weeks, right? So we not, I'm not playing that game. Pro-life period. It's not the baby's fault that the mama did what she did or daddy did what he did or none of that. That ain't got nothing to do with the child. The child didn't decide that. So it's not for us or for a mother or a father or anybody else to decide to murder their unborn child because of a quote unquote mistake. Quote unquote, they're not ready. They don't have the finances or whatever. Well, you shouldn't have did what you did to make that baby then, right? Because it ain't the baby's fault. That's your fault. So I'm not with that. So Trump flip flopped on that. Then when it came to the LGBT thing, he was like against the LGBT when he was president, and then after that, 2020, 2021, he went crazy with it. He's supporting them, having them at Mar-a-Lago, throwing parties and all kind of stuff. He did all type of stuff in 2021. Right? They had this dude named Lady MAGA. This like 6'2", 6'3" guy dressed up in drag, talking about he's Lady MAGA. They had that guy on tour with the president, out here promoting, Trump and all that type of stuff. I wasn't with none of that. And again, they said, I'm supposed to be a loyalist and a cult follower and all that type of stuff. I wasn't with that. There was a few things that I wasn't with when it came to Trump. But the truth is, in reality, we have two guys that's running for president now. And whether I like it or not, or whether y'all like it or not, those are the two people that's going to be, one of the two is going to be president, right? Or, maybe they throw somebody else in there for Biden, we'll see. Because he might not even make it the rest of this term. But here's the thing. We got to decide on who to vote for. And for the last, I don't know how many years, decades, it's been either a Democrat or a Republican that's been the president. Right? No independents or no other third party. It's been a Republican or a Democrat. And in this next election, it's going to be a Republican or a Democrat. So, do I overlook some things that Trump has done to say, you know what? Going forward, I got to look at the overall situation. I can really harp on, or any of us can harp on specific ideas and specific issues, right? But if we don't look at the overall, the bigger picture, there's no way that I'm going to say, let me not vote for Trump and let me vote for Biden, right? Because people are saying then they want to vote for Biden because they don't want to vote for Trump because he's so evil and this and that, all that stuff. Although, if we talk about the economy, if we talk about the border, nationwide security, just things that matter to the average person, right? Trump is the best option. We already know because he already has a track record. We can look back from 2016 to 2020 and we can see the work that he did and the way that the country was being run. Right? It's a stark difference between from 2016 to 2020 and from 2020 to now. Right? It's a stark difference. Okay? Way, way, way different. So, now when it comes to Joe Biden is, of course, pro-abortion. He's not even, he don't even have the conversation about, hey, Should it be something that we do, or should it not be something that we support? He's just all in. Woman can do what she wants to do with the baby, all right? Whatever. The man has no say so. It's as if the mother procreated within herself. Like she had nothing to do with a man procreating. It's crazy, but he's pro-abortion. Uh, they want to get very stringent on Second Amendment. They want to, control what kind of gun you own, what type of ammo, how much ammo you can have, where your gun has to be stored, all type of stuff. They want to control all of that, right? They want to control all of that. What else is he for? Of course he's for, all the mandates or whatever. So they were big on, it's funny how when the vaccine was first getting created under Trump, Biden and all them on that side, they were like, even Kamala said, I remember Kamala was interviewed and she said, they asked her, was she gonna get the vaccine, right? This is when Trump was president. She said no, because she didn't trust it, because it was being made under Trump's administration. And then Trump, quote unquote, lost the election, right? And then Biden was installed as president, and then she was the vice president. And then guess what happened? She went and got the vax, and then she said, she touted it as this great thing, as if she didn't just say that she wasn't getting it because it was made under Trump's administration. That's how fake these people are, especially on the Democrat side. I mean, they are just super fake. Super fake. They'll literally, these people will, it's like the thing where you can watch somebody do something. Like you can watch somebody shoot somebody, right? You see them with your own eyes shoot somebody. And then you go tell the Democrat, hey man, that person just shot that person. I saw it. And they're gonna say, no, you didn't. You didn't see that person do it. They didn't do it. That was, you imagine that, because that was really another guy, right? That was a Republican that did that. It wasn't a Democrat. And you're like, no, but I saw it though. Like I saw it. I mean, I got it on video. And then you show them the video, and then they're like, they'll tell you to send them the video, right? Then they'll alter the video and then tell you, see, this ain't what you saw. You saw this right here, right? And you know what you saw, but they're gonna tell you, they're gonna lie to the very end that you didn't see what you saw, because they're gonna manipulate the video. They're gonna do everything in their power to sway, and then they're not only gonna tell you that you didn't see you didn't see what you saw. They're gonna make it to where other people that come into the situation, that they know that what you saw ain't right. They're gonna make sure that they manipulate everything to where anybody else that comes in and looks at what you said that you saw, they're gonna see something totally different. That's what Democrats do. They are manipulative. Just they try to prey on the emotions of people. They do it better than the Republican side. They do it better than anybody. Right? They are just, they have a master class in manipulation, in pushing their propaganda, in making things look a certain way when it's really not that way. They do it very well. They do it very well. They did it during COVID. If Republicans ran America, right? Like every state was a Republican run, the cities were Republican and all that stuff. And they said for people to shelter in place and wear masks and get back. If they did all that stuff, all the people who vote Democrat would have been like, they wouldn't want to do it, right? Because it's a Republican telling them to do it. But when the Democrats tell them to do it, the same exact thing, they're like, yep, I do it, whatever, how long we need to do it. Okay, for 2-3 years, okay, we do it 3 years. Right? These people still wearing masks. These people still wearing, because it was ingrained in them. They are so all in that they are still wearing masks when they go out into stores and stuff. Cause it was ingrained in them. It's like um classical conditioning. Y'all ever heard of classical conditioning where you do something at the same time every day for if you do it long enough, then it becomes just ingrained in you, right? It was like this. There was this experiment by Ivan Pavlov. He was the person that came up with classical conditioning. He would put water into a pan, and over time, his dog, over time would learn that okay, when he heard this certain noise, the water going into or the food going into the pan, the dog would start salivating, and it knew it just got conditioned to where it knew that sound meaned food and water, and so came up with the whole idea of classical conditioning. And what they did with the whole lockdown thing was they made it to where people were wearing masks in their house, in their car, at the store, at a restaurant. You finna get down and eat, and and people are wearing a mask. Literally, they sit down, take the mask off, eat their food, put the mask back on, and then walk out the building. Right? It was just in you. You go to school, you gotta wear a mask. You go to the movie theater, you gotta wear a mask. You go to the beach, you gotta wear a mask. Like it was ingrained in you, and so there are people who are still stuck on I gotta wear a mask when I'm in public because they had to do it for like 2 years straight, every day. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can trick people into doing, and then they really think that it's a good thing. That's the sad part about it is that people think it's a good thing, and they'll do it. They'll do it to no end. They'll do it. So Biden and Trump, if you watch that debate, clear as day, Trump is just you got to admit, objectively speaking, Trump came across as a better candidate. He just did. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in the election. I don't know what's going to happen in the election. But Trump is the best candidate, right? He just is, just is. Even with the holdups that I have about him, he's just the best candidate. And so that's what we got to go forward with. Any person that's telling me vote for Biden, man, I mean, I mean, you got to be slow. You got to be a little bit slow, right? Kind of like you got to be as slow as people that vote for Reed. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Who should be mayor of Montgomery moving forward? Now Reed's got to be in office for what till 2027. So we got about another 3 years of Reed. I've seen a lot of people talk about certain individuals being mayor. I've seen J.C. Love's name, who ran in 2019, right, with the other like 11 candidates that ran in that cycle. I don't know a whole lot about J.C. Love, but people tend to love him, so they really do like the guy. And I've seen his name be mentioned. He may be running. And I've also seen a lot of people talking about Sheriff Cunningham. Now I haven't seen him say anything about being mayor, but people want him to be either mayor or chief of police in Montgomery. Now here's the thing about Sheriff Cunningham. I have reservations about him being chief or being mayor or any of that stuff. here's my reservations about Sheriff Cunningham. People love the fact that he's, a tough on crime type of guy. He communicates with the public. He's very active, and all those things I commend. I commend all those things. But here's the issue with him being a part of or being under Mayor Reed. Let's talk about that first. If he was to be the chief of police, here's the issue with that. There are a group of people in the government here locally in Montgomery, Alabama. There's about a good 6 of them, maybe more than that, but I know of about 6 that these guys are frat brothers. All right, these guys are frat brothers. Mayor Reed, CC Calhoun, Aronde Mitchell, Sheriff Cunningham, and there's some other guys too. Right? They run together. And so I want y'all to tell me something. As much as Sheriff Cunningham has talked about the crime in Montgomery, he's been on WSFA, he's been on this whatever other local news stations talking about the crime and discussing the East Del Mall shooting and all that. Find me a time when Sheriff Cunningham called out Mayor Reed for not doing his job correctly. Like by name, like said, like Mayor Reed need to get together. Right? Because he doesn't work for Mayor Reed, right? He's the sheriff of Montgomery County. Totally different. Mayor Reed has no authority over Sheriff Cunningham. But find me a time when Sheriff Cunningham was direct about Mayor Reed needed to do better. He needed to be held accountable. Right? You're not going to find it because he don't do it. He talks generally about, crime is bad or people want to feel safe. And he'll say certain things like that, but he's not going to be direct and say, put it on Mayor Reed, right, where it belongs, because it's Mayor Reed runs MPD and runs the city of Montgomery, from what he said. Right? So there's an issue because we know that Mayor Reed likes to be in control. Mayor Reed wants somebody in there that's not going to be a person that pushes back on his policies and his decision making, right? Chief Finley is not here anymore because he did that. He pushed back. He was defiant. He wasn't a do boy, right? And he's not here anymore. So why would Mayor Reed want Sheriff Cunningham to be, in that position? Because he's as much as, here's the thing. Mayor Reed wouldn't want to put him there because maybe he thinks that Sheriff Cunningham would be a pushback person. He's not going to just do whatever he wants him to do. Also, for me looking at it, I'm looking at it as that's his buddy. You know what I'm saying? He Sheriff Cunningham will be in control or be controlled by Mayor Reed, to where Mayor Reed, it don't matter if what we think in our minds that Sheriff Cunningham would get in there and do. If Mayor Reed tells him to do something, that's his boss, so he got to do it. Or guess what? He gonna be right over there with Chief Finley, wherever he's at, right? Out of a job with the city of Montgomery. So this is, these are the things that I've been sitting back watching. I've been sitting back watching, and I just keep seeing people say, Sheriff Cunningham, Sheriff Cunningham. Also, another thing about Sheriff Cunningham is he's against the whole permitless carry. Now, for me, that's the easy one. Hold on a second. For me, that's the easy one. The whole permitless carry thing. See, before that went into effect January 1 of 2023, You had to go to the sheriff's office downtown Montgomery and put in for your permit, right? And you had to pay them how much money that is. So that's more money that the county is getting. So of course, I can see why a sheriff would say they're not for permitless carry because they want you to pay for that permit, right? That's revenue that they are not getting anymore. So of course they would be saying, "Hey, we need this," right? But here's the issue: they try to say, "Well, it's a safety issue because now certain people that shouldn't have a gun or having a gun is like who's having a gun now that couldn't have one before, right? What changed to where the people who were not, when you had to have a permit, the people that had guns illegally, they're still illegal to have a gun now. What's the difference? But they push it out there to make it seem like anybody can have a gun. They don't know who's who and all this type of like. Before that, it was the same situation. It was the same. And so, and in Montgomery, we broke the homicide record in 2020. 69 homicides. Then the very next year in 2021, all right, all this before 2023, when permitless carry went into effect, all this before that, we broke the record of 2020 in 2021. We had 77 homicides. Right? So permitless carry had nothing to do with that. So what was the problem then? Right? If permitless carry is the issue now, what was the problem then when we broke the record? And as of right now, 2021 is still the record, the all-time record of homicides in Montgomery. We may break that this year. I don't know. But even if the crime that's going on right now in Montgomery, right? All the gun crimes that's happening in Montgomery, that's still not permitless carry because the people who are committing the crimes and things, they're doing it because we have no police, right? They understand that criminals understand. Trust me, criminals pay attention. When they notice when things are conducive to them being able to commit crimes and get away with it, right? They pay attention just like everybody else knows what's going on. So they feel more emboldened to do things that they know they can get away with, or they feel pretty confident about it. So that's really that there again, the local government has helped to embolden these criminals to be worse criminals. Right? It's not about permitless carry. That's not the issue here. But I don't like the fact that Cunningham has said that. He's gone at that. And instead of looking at Mayor Reed and saying, yo, we gotta do better over there. He ain't saying that. But he'll call out the state law though. You see what I'm saying? He'll call out the state law, the people that made that law. He'll call that out specifically. But he ain't calling nothing specific out when it comes to Mayor Reed. Y'all got to pay attention. Pay attention. And find me a time where he did call out Mayor Reed. Find it. I would love somebody to send it to me. The Captain's Quarter Show on Facebook. Message me. Find me a clip or a statement or something that he called out Mayor Reed. I would love to see it. Right? Because they got that little clique, man. It's a clique in Montgomery that are people who cape for the mayor. They protect the mayor at all costs. Right? You got pastors. There's pastors in this group. Pastor Nettles, he's one of them type people. Zach Buckner, who's like I don't know what he is, bishop, deacon, something. He's one of those people. Like you got a group of people who they're in the faith community, they're in government, they're in law enforcement, and they are all into this, like it's almost like a cabal of these people who protect Mayor Reed at all costs. They circle the wagon. They circle the wagon. This might be the only place that y'all even see this information. Y'all might not see this information anywhere else because guess what? The guys on the radio and stuff, they can't say certain things because, they got certain relationships with certain people and that type of thing, and they can't say everything they want to say. Right? I don't have a boss, so I can say what I want to say. Right? I'm calling it like I see it. Right? The Captain's Quarters show gonna give you the honest commentary, the real, and cut through all that fat, cut through all that nonsense. We get straight to the point. This is what y'all need to know and be aware of, so that when moving forward, as people come into the race and say, "Hey, I'm running for mayor. I'm running for this. I'm doing this, doing that," y'all are more aware. Like, okay, I've been paying attention to that person. I don't like the way they're moving. They're not standing up when we need them to, right? They're not speaking out when we need them to. They're kind of sitting back watching, and then they kind of say certain things vaguely, generally. They're real general, but they're not specific. Pay attention to people. They'll show you who they are, right? And if like Mayor Reed, he told y'all he diabolical. He told you he don't give a GD about the black vote, and all. He told y'all this, right? Well, he told a person this, but that's what he meant. And then we heard him say it, and then people don't take him at his word, like as if he didn't mean what he said. But everything in his actions have shown us that he meant what he said. Everything has shown us that. You know what I'm saying? Destroying MPD. I mean, just man, I don't even know how y'all even aware that Mayor Reed passed this this bill or whatever, changing the insurance, the health insurance of retirees for the city of Montgomery. They no longer have the great insurance that they had before. They got some kind of knockoff company now. You know what I'm saying? That man don't care anything about helping MPD or the retirees and all this stuff. He don't care nothing about all that. He does not care about that. He's done so much to show this and prove this. I don't know what more people need to see. But what I want people to do is just look at the people around Mayor Reed. Look at the people that's around Mayor Reed. Go on Facebook and look at these pictures that he's taking with certain people. Right? Look at the people that he's taking pictures with. He's at events with. Look who's inviting him to whatever place and all. Pay attention to that, because these are the people who are in positions of power in whatever arena that they're in, and they're affecting the voters. They're affecting the way that the public sees Mayor Reed, and they want him to be looked at as a savior. Man, he's the first black mayor of Montgomery, and we got to support him, and we gotta give him a chance, right? You gotta that man give him 20 years of opportunity to show y'all he can be a mayor. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? This man 5 years in, he's done nothing but hurt the city of Montgomery. Now, somebody was talking to me and telling me, Mayor Reed is good when it comes to business. They got to give him his just due on that. He's about business. He brings business to Montgomery. And I'm like, well, no, he brings corporation business to Montgomery. But even that, I'm not gonna give him all the credit for, because we were getting that before him. Don't forget, Hyundai came before Mayor Reed. We got how many distribution companies in Montgomery? Coca-Cola. You got Pepsi. We had Golden Flake. Now I think it's Utz now. All type of things. Right? We had corporations and stuff here. And it's not like any other person in the mayor position couldn't get those same corporations in Montgomery, because Montgomery is centrally located in the state. It's the capital, number one. It's the capital. That's going to speak volumes to any company that wants to do business. We got a healthy, metro size area, 380,000 people. So, good on that. Centrally located. 2.5 hours or so from Mobile, an hour and a half or so from Birmingham. You got Columbus, Georgia, about a good hour and a half to the east. Like, we're in a good position. We're on the Alabama River. Like, there's so many things that's in our favor already that it's not like Mayor Reed is pushing us over the edge of he's doing all this great, work to get us, get the economy booming here, right? He's about bringing big corporations, Amazon, Meta, Facebook, and that type of thing. But when it comes to the mom and pop stores, the smaller businesses, what about them? How many of them are popping up on the south side, the north side, the west side? Even on the east side, ain't nothing but a bunch of car washes opening up, car washes and storage units. Yeah, I mean, gas stations. I mean, it's the stuff that's been happening already. But what about smaller businesses? I could have sworn Mayor Reed during his administration, didn't they change like the ordinance downtown that made it where a few businesses downtown opened up because there was this open container rule downtown, right? This ordinance that allowed people to walk from business to business with an open container of alcohol. Didn't they change that rule? And then there were businesses that went out of business because their business model was pretty much centered around this whole rule about having open containers, right? In the business district downtown, the entertainment district. That was under him. So it's like, and didn't Mayor Reed also say at a city council meeting, one of the city council meeting in 2021, didn't he say that he was gonna tell businesses, don't come to Montgomery because we not inclusive enough to the LGBTQ and all that type of stuff. I'm gonna tell them to go to Birmingham and other places. Don't come to Montgomery because we got bigots here. Didn't he say that pretty much in 2021? Like, good on business? I don't think so. I don't think he's good on business. He's good on the people that he's been bringing to Montgomery are people that or businesses that he's connected to through like the whole racial thing. He's the first black mayor, so he's able to connect with a guy who's a black-owned business and say, "Hey, man, black, we black, brother. Bring your business here, man. We're gonna support you." Or bring your EJI museum down here, man. We're gonna push this the whole black thing, the black struggle thing. We're gonna expand that. Man, we got how many museums do we have about slavery and civil rights? How many do we already have? Now we got the Legacy Museum. I mean, I swear they're gonna have downtown gonna be you're gonna drive downtown. You get off the interstate on the like Union Street or somewhere. They're gonna have this big old. There's gonna be a like an arch over the exit, and it's gonna be like slaves hanging from nooses, and it's gonna say something like welcome to the cradle of the Confederacy or something like that. I can see them doing something like that. Like, no lie, visitors coming to Montgomery, you're gonna get off the exit, and it's gonna be a arc, and it's gonna be some like a depiction of slaves hanging from a tree or something, right? They want to beat us over the head with this stuff so much. It's crazy. How do kids have a opportunity to do anything in their lives? Because they are taught from a young age, man, that it's all about color. It's all about, your ancestry. You gotta, thank the ancestors and all that type. Man, the ancestors can't do nothing for you. Them folks dead. You know what I'm saying? Like once somebody die and they ain't got nothing to do with what you're doing now. Nothing to do with it. You in the present right now. It's up to you what you do with your life right now. What somebody did 150 years ago, 3, 4, 500 years ago, like they are not helping you in the right now. They got no power to help you. Christ can help you because Christ is eternal. He's a spirit. That's totally different. But them ancestors, they don't went to wherever they going to, right? Heaven, hell, whatever the case. They there. They ain't here to help you. So they love to say the ancestors, the ancestors. They setting the kids up for failure, man. These kids, I don't know. These kids, they get y'all. They try to get them stuck on colors so much, and just keep them lost. And then when they grow up, they view all these like Democrat liberal people like Oprah, Obama, like they teach them to look at them and hold them in esteem. Like that's the pinnacle of being black. But they don't talk about Booker T. Washington. They don't talk about Larry Elder. They don't talk about uh excuse me, they don't talk about Herman Cain and even back, they don't give you like the real stories of like George Washington Carver, right? They don't give you like the people who really went through some things, experienced life, and overcame certain things, and didn't hold a color barrier over their head, right? They were just like, yo, God created me to do something to better my world around me. So let me do that. Rather than, man, we gotta fight this system, fight this color thing, and fight this, and I'm black, and they think I'm less than, but I'm a show like that's all they want to push. Let's see. John said more worried about Biden being read. Biden being read is worried more about Joe Biden being read. So I think you saying like about Biden being read. So like you saying that they're one and the same. Because they definitely are one and the same. They definitely are. But man, they want these kids to be just stuck. Mm-mm. Oh man. Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this thing up, man. Been on here for 2 hours. Y'all go back watch the replay. Appreciate y'all, everybody that watched. Be sure to share the page with your friends. Make sure you like and follow the page, the Captain's Quarters Show on Facebook. The Captain's Quarters Show on Facebook. I'm finna finish up this bottle of water. Mouth getting dry. But happy 4th of July to everybody that I'm not gonna be able to see or talk to before then. Um, hope y'all have a safe rest of your week. Um, yeah, especially in Montgomery, man. Y'all have a safe week, man, for real. Stay cool, stay hydrated. This heat is ridiculous. It has continued to be ridiculous. Drink your water, your Gatorade, Powerade, whatever it is that you fuel up on, keep that in you because we don't need people passing out and dying and stuff from heat strokes. So watch out for your family, your friends, your neighbors, and everybody. Keep an eye on everybody, man. We gotta watch out for one another for sure. Thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it. I'm gonna see y'all the next go round. This was the Captain's Quarter Show. I was your host, Milliner, the captain, and I'm gone.